Messestadt West.
Messestadt Riem, a new district for Munich.
Das ist meine Hut und ich geh nicht weg von dir, lehn dich zurück, denn ich will keinen Stress mit dir. Das ist meine Hut und ich geh nicht weg von dir, lehn dich zurück, denn ich will keinen Stress mit dir.
Ich liebe meine Gegend, denn hier hab ich ne schöne Zeit. Das Projekt gibt uns die perfekte Möglichkeit aufzunehmen, das Talent nicht zu verschwenden. Ich liebe meine Gegend und ich werde für sie kämpfen.
Darf ich vorstellen, Messestadt,
meine Hut ist sorgenfrei.
Der See ist auch noch da.
Immer wenn die Sonne scheint, alle sind glücklich, keiner ist genervt. Ich liebe meine Hut, eine Seele, ein Herz.
We're pioneers, one could say.
There are so many people you know, and more people keep moving here, people you know from years ago. It's as if everybody's meeting here.
Moving out here as a family is absolutely fantastic. 2 minutes on foot to a lake. Who else has got that? Nice people. And pretty girls.
There are lots of young people here, and we all get on really well. Yes, I don't ever want to move out of here.
It's not quite so close as it is in town. There's so much more freedom, and let's say, it's just easier to breathe.
Messestadt Riem is one of the largest urban planning projects in Europe. This is where the new Munich Trade Fair Center was opened in 1998. When the airport Munich Riem was moved to the Erdinger Moors, an area measuring 560 hectares was vacated for new urban life. Living, working and nature are tightly woven and networked with large-scale and very differently designed parks and squares. Up until 1992, airplanes from around the globe still arrived and departed from here. Nowadays, only a few old relics remain as a reminder of the airport, like the tower or the Wappenhalle. Munich's mayor, Christian Ude, is absolutely convinced that Messestadt Riem is a project worth talking about.
Of course, the local value is extraordinary, not just because it's such a large area, but also because it was such an incredible opportunity from a planning point of view. The change of use within the whole area, with a perfect mixture of trade fair as a magnet, the Messestadt for accommodation purposes, and a landscaped park for recreation and leisure. Conditions like these do not come along very often.
The development of Messestadt Riem is divided into various areas. The commercially used areas, with the new Munich Trade Fair Center, the Technology Park West and the Commercial Area East, are located north of the east-west axis, the Willy Brandt Allee. The center of Riem and the residential areas are located just south of this main street. They're connected to Riem's park by green belts which reach right into the residential zones. The excellent connections to the public transport network are a clear advantage of this site. The trip via underground from Munich's town centre to the underground station Messestadt West takes just over 20 minutes. From there, it's not far to Willy Brandt-Platz, which is Messestadt Riem's central square. The combination of shopping, eating out, working, living, hotel and leisure facilities make the square an attractive and lively meeting place. Open passages connect Willy Brandt-Platz with a further square, Platz der Menschenrechte. It's a bit quieter here. The atmosphere of the square is characterized by a small grove of pines and the connecting green. The Ecumenical Church Centre, with its white tower and the high protective walls, is a landmark. Theo Bauernschmidt has been responsible for the development of Messestadt Riem from the very beginning.
The aim of Messestadt Riem was to create a lively, fully functional district, which would also be very much self-contained. What we've got here in Messestadt is a kind of island situation, which means that all functions should really be here on site. And that's why it was so important that the residential areas and offers cater to different income groups, from those earning very little to those with a high income. The same applies to the commercial areas where we're able to offer everything ranging from small craft businesses, simple manufacturing shops, high-tech companies to administrative firms, offers and service providers.
Many well-known media companies, innovative high-tech businesses and an exclusive auction house make use of the good location of the technology park, Messestadt West. This area is also home to the fire station, which blends in well with its modest design. The commercial area east can be reached via the central axis, the Willy Brandt Allee. Businesses in the production industry have settled down here. The guidelines that were developed for the design of Messestadt Riem have also been applied here.
First of all, it was very important for us to include ecology into the whole planning procedure and development. So at the same time as a planning concept, we developed an ecological concept. The most fundamental features were not just individual ecological aspects, but a master plan with loads and loads of measures that are all coordinated. These range from matters concerning town and construction to matters concerning the user.
A concept using a private investor was chosen for the development of the Messestadt Riem project. Franz Eichele is the managing director of the development consortium MRG, which set to work on the 1st of August 1994. MRG has been responsible for making the area accessible and developing the technical, social and cultural infrastructure.
The basic idea of this concept was that the infrastructure should be completed on time with the arrival of the occupants, when their apartments were completed. There isn't, I don't think, another district where so much social and urban life has developed within such a short space of time. It's amazing, really quite incredible.
Einigkeit kein Fremd und nein, wir lieben diese Gegend. Doch wir brauchen eure Hilfe, denn man muss hier was bewegen. Hey, sie bauen die Riem-Arkaden, doch für uns ist es kein Abenteuer. Und weil wir hier nichts haben, wird doch wieder diese Abenteuer. Frag schön und gut, doch was ist an Sommer?
Uwe Knitsch has been involved in Messerstadt's cultural life from the very beginning.
Due to the numerous different people who got together here within such a short space of time, it was very important to create space where people would run into one another, meet and chat without having to battle for territory. What this really means is that everybody knows that when lots of people come together in a small space, it's not always easy to get on. I think it has worked really well, and I don't want to just put this achievement down to the adults or the coordinators, but to the children and young adults. They have, I believe, contributed immensely towards the fact that life in Messestadt, regarding cultural matters, has developed the way it has.
In planning the infrastructure of the young district, there has been a clear focus on the needs of children and young adults. The Astrid Lindgren Primary and Special School is part of the Schooling Centre East, which forms the eastern boundary of Messestadt. Playing, climbing and being noisy during break time, there's plenty to do in the schoolyard on the perimeter of Riem Park. Covering an area of 200 hectares, the landscaped Riem Park is Munich's third biggest park. In 2005, it was the exhibition ground for the Bundesgartenschau. With the large grassy areas, hedges, groves and connecting paths, it's a park with endless opportunities. Skating, running, cycling, Nordic walking. There's space for everything and everybody. The hill for tobogganing to the east of Messestadt is also part of Riem Park. The grassed area with its mass of colourful flowers is also a special attraction in summer. The view from the top is spectacular. You can see the blue water of Messestadt Riem's bathing lake in front of the mountain panorama. And even if the temperature of the lake takes a moment to get used to, it's no longer a secret place only for Riem's residents to escape to. The sports field of the Vocational School Centre in Messestadt East is also used outside school hours. Children from many different countries train in the club SC Arcadia. This is also an important contribution towards good social interaction and a friendly neighborhood.
The special thing is that really the first residents who moved in got to know each other fairly quickly. There are of course lots of families with children. They got together and formed groups to do sports and other things. Everybody was new here. Everybody had to find new friends and acquaintances. And that's what was so fantastic here. We had to adjust, help each other, and everything happened very quickly. A beautiful park, a beautiful lake. The children have fun and can run around. Really, lots of playgrounds. It's really great fun.
Developed according to Munich's guidelines, compact, urban, green. This is how Messestadt Riem presents itself today. Lots of different public and private spaces, streets and squares, courtyards and paths form a varied and lively residential environment. Light colours connect the different elements. Colour accents invigorate the townscape. Variety and mix for families and singles, for different generations and different incomes. According to the Munich Mix concept, housing can be divided into 3 different categories: subsidised rental housing, Munich model housing and privately financed housing. In Messestadt Riem, these are all presented in equal parts. Brigitte Sova and Brigitte Ganz, 2 of the first residents in Messestadt Riem, are quite aware of the situation and very much appreciate the result. What's quite special, I think, at first, is that everybody arrived at the same place, at the same time, unpacked their bags and had a look around to see who's there, because nobody had had neighbours before. If you move into an already developed area, then everything around you already exists. And here we all arrive together. Everybody wants to make friends and meet their neighbours. That's really why there's such a good team spirit within the neighbourhood, where it really doesn't matter where my neighbour comes from or whether he or she speaks the same language, because we're all in the same boat.
Well, the cooperation and the joint effort, that's of course quite an amazing basis for good teamwork. Living in Messestadt combines nature and an urban environment. This is where Munich city councillor sees the potential of this new district.
In my
opinion, Riem is the regional garden city of the 21st century, and those who don't believe it today will be even more convinced in 10 to 20 years. You cannot even begin to fathom what it's going to be like. It's the ideal for families, for many occupants. It's living in the city, but at the same time, it's like living in the countryside. Riem has shown that it's absolutely necessary to develop an individual concept to master a scheme like this. It might also be necessary to focus on smaller scale structures within the big master plan for future projects. And in Riem, there are some very nice pilot projects, like the women's housing, which distort the rigid pattern but add quality. 250 women got together and formed the first Women's Living and Building Association to fulfill their wishes and ideas of safe and communal living. There are 49 apartments and common rooms in this project. Sabine Pommersberger, a member of the executive board, and Barbara Jurtas, a resident, are very attached to this project. Yes, I'm amongst the group who were here from the very beginning. I simply didn't want to live on my own, but I wanted to be part of a neighbourhood network. I also didn't want to be as close as in flat sharing with other people, but wanted to have an apartment of my own. From the very beginning, I wanted to live in a neighbourhood with women. Women are more communicative. It's actually the women who drive the communal environment. And our focus is on women. They're our contract partners, which is additional protection for them too. So if there should be a conflict within the family or a marriage, the woman stays and the man has to leave. This project here, the residential complex in Messestadt Riem, has been a success. There are a few details that we would change in future projects, but in total, this is a perfect example for other housing estates. There are still cranes towering above Riem. In 2014, when everything is complete, there'll be 16,000 residents and 13,000 people working here. Messestadt Riem, a growing district on the outskirts of Munich, with excellent prospects for the future.
Well, I think that Messestadt will be a popular and treasured residential area in less than 20 years. That's why I'm really quite sure that this is a safe investment and that it's going to be a sought-after area in the future.
Festes, begehrtes Wohngebiet der Zukunft.
Das ist meine Hut und ich geh nicht weg von dir, lehn dich zurück, denn ich will keinen Stress mit dir.